Ready? Yep.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Mayor and Council regular meeting, Wednesday, January 27th, 2021. Due to COVID-19, this meeting is being conducted telephonically. Dial-in number is 425-436-6365, access code 213563. And also, the meeting can be viewed on the Ramsey YouTube channel. Can I have the roll call, please?
Okay, Mayor Dillon.
Here.
Councilwoman Cusick.
Here.
Councilman Gutwetter.
Here.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
Councilman Kilman.
Here.
Councilman Weber.
Here.
Councilwoman Woods.
Here.
Thank you. We'll have the flag salute. I will ask Borough Clerk Bendian to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the
of the
flag.
United States of America
United States of America.
and to the republic for
And
which
to
it
the
stands,
republic.
one
for which
nation,
it stands,
under God, indivisible,
one nation,
with
under God,
and justice for all.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of all citizens to have advance notice of and to attend all meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting the public is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this Act, notice of this meeting of the Mayor and Council was published in the Bergen Record on Sunday, June 10th, 2021. Before we move forward, I'd just have a moment of silence to recognize Kevin Kohler, the owner of Cafe Panache, who passed away a few weeks ago, as well as Caroline Mannon, who was a long-time, very active member of the Ramsey Seniors. Okay, thank you. Approval of minutes.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the Sunday meeting, January 5th, 2021.
Thank you. We have a
Madam
second.
Mayor, Councilman Weber, seconds.
Thank you. Any comments on the minutes? Not hearing any. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick.
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter.
Yes.
Councilman Jones.
Yes.
Councilman Kilman.
Yes.
Councilman Weber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Thank you. Do we have communications?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Make a motion to receive and file the communications as listed on our agenda for January 27th.
Okay, thank you,
This is
Council.
Councilwoman Cusick, and I would like to second that, please.
Thank you. Any comments on the communications? Not hearing any. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick.
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter.
Yes.
Councilman Jones.
Yes.
Councilman Kilman.
Yes.
Councilman Weber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll open it up to public comment. Anyone wishing to address the governing body, please step up to the microphone or the telephone and give your name, spelling the last name and address as a courtesy to all present. Please speak in an audible tone and address your comments to the chair. There will be a 5-minute time limit per speaker, unless reduced because of the volume of business on the agenda. Please note public comment is your time. Out of respect and fairness to all present, there will be no interruptions or questions answered during your time. No time shall be ceded to anyone else, and no time shall be saved for later use. Any responses may be given during the governing body's comments later in the evening or as directed by the chair. The Borough Clerk is the official timekeeper.
Madam Mayor, if I could be recognized, please, for 1 moment.
Yes, Borough Attorney Scandariato.
Thank you. I would just like to take a moment to remind everyone that this body, the Mayor and Council, has no oversight over matters pending in the municipal court or any other court. I believe it is prudent to caution everyone that any attempt to influence the outcome of a matter pending in the court is improper and illegal. So as to preserve the integrity of both bodies, I will instruct that a transcript of any statement so made be preserved and forwarded to the appropriate authority. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Borough Attorney. Okay, we're open for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the governing body, please speak up. Okay, second call for public comment. Okay, third and final call for public comment. Okay, not hearing anyone wishing to speak for public comment, I will close public comment at this point.
Please enter your
To mute.
You don't, well, it doesn't matter now.
Okay, right. Okay, we have no
Your
advertising.
input is invalid. You entered 5. Please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash.
Okay,
If you do not know your PIN, please enter pound or hash.
it's bound.
I think just let it go. Hopefully it won't say it.
Okay. We don't have any advertised public hearing for final
Thank you.
consideration this evening. For appointments, I hereby appoint Lucas Bettini, Ramsey Rescue, regular member, and appoint Nancy Boone to the Design Review Board, regular member, and I thank both of them for their service to the borough. At this point, do we have a motion to go out of order so that Borough Administrator Vosé can give his report?
I'll make that motion, Councilman Jones.
Okay, do we have a
Weber
second?
seconds.
Weber? All right, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick.
Councilwoman Cusick.
Yes. Councilman Gottwetter?
Yes.
Councilman Jones?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods?
Yes.
Thank you, okay. You're up, Borough Administrator Vosé.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Okay, a couple items I touch on tonight. First off, the municipal budget for 2021. We've been working on the budget for quite a while now, and over the next week or so, we'll be presenting an initial budget to the Finance Committee, and the auditors are currently here preparing the 2020 municipal financial statements in advance of the February 10th filing deadline, and once these are completed, we can finalize the budget for review. While the state has extended budget deadlines for 2021, and many municipalities do go up beyond the deadlines in introducing and adopting budgets, I would recommend and plan on staying with the time frame we have utilized over the last few years, with introduction of the budget in February at the Mayor and Council meeting on the 24th, with a public hearing and adoption at the March 24th Mayor and Council meeting. So as I said, we'll go through with the Finance Committee, but that's the timeline looking to move forward on it, assuming everything is in order. Last year, the borough submitted a grant application for the Bergen County CDBG program for community development block grants for renovations of the second floor bathrooms at Borough Hall. You'll see a communication on the agenda tonight from County Executive Tedesco. We did receive an award for $60,398 for that project. I'll talk a little bit about the 2021 Community Development Block Grant later in this report. Okay, we have a couple resolutions I'll speak about quickly. Resolution 34 tonight authorizes the borough to renew our bond anticipation note with a one-year maturity in the amount of $6,760,000. The borough uses bond anticipation notes for our debt financing. We have 2 notes outstanding at any time, with one maturing in January and one in June. This resolution is for the January maturing note. We received quotes on the note issuance, with the financial institution supplying the lowest net interest cost being awarded the note. Oppenheimer was the lowest net interest cost at a rate of 0.529%. Obviously, this is an extremely competitive rate, reflective of the market's view of the strength of the borough's financial position. And the bond anticipation note renewal and borrowing amount is $1.2 million lower than last year, represented a 15% reduction in debt from this ban issued in January of 2020, as we continue to make annual principal paydowns on our borrowings. Resolutions 35, 36, and 37 all confirm the appointment of 3 police officers to permanent status: Christopher Finn, Nicholas DePalma, and Austin Burgeis. The officers were hired 1 year ago by the borough, successfully completed the academy, basic and field training with the Ramsey Police Department and their 1-year probationary period. They've been unanimously recommended by their supervisors and the chief of police for permanent appointment. Resolution 39 deals with a budget neutral transfer between accounts in the 2020 municipal budget. We've discussed this in the past. It's just moving appropriations from one line item to another. It's called an appropriation reserve because it's made after January 1st into 2021. So typically all appropriations are reserved at the end of the year, but this is for 2020 items that were performed in 2020, but we only received invoices in 2021. Okay, one of these line items I'll just mention is we are transferring some money to 911 regional service, which has been significantly more than anticipated this year. And this anticipated usage is due in large part to the regular communications Mayor Dillon's been providing the community, keeping everyone updated on the latest information regarding the pandemic and the related implications. I would just commend Mayor Dillon for these messages, as we consistently get positive feedback on these community communications, even in some cases from residents of other towns who have signed up for Ramsey's information alerts that they're not getting in their own community. Resolution 43 awards a contract to Pascal Data for the replacement of computer servers and related equipment at Borough Hall and the Ramsey Police Department. We discussed this project a number of times in 2020 when we allocated funding for the project in 2 ordinances, number 2 and 11 of 2020. Our main servers are at the end of their life cycle, and to allow for the latest upgrades, particularly in antivirus and spyware, as well as warranty and repair protection on the vital infrastructure, we're replacing the units at this time. All funding is previously allocated. The contract award requires no new funding, and the equipment is all purchased under New Jersey state contracts with Dell and Pascal Data's corresponding Dell contract. Implementation, installation, and conversion of all necessary history and applications are provided as professional services by Pascal Data as well. Resolution 44 cancels unspent improvement authorization from bond ordinance 6, 2019. As we discussed in December, when a funding or bond ordinance is adopted that is an authorization to make the improvement or purchase detailed, it is not the actual contract award or commitment of actual spending. Under bond ordinance 6 of 2019, we have $125,000 of unspent authorization remaining. This 2019 ordinance had proposed funding for the purchase of a larger load DPW dump truck at the time. However, a smaller truck was procured at that time as the department's priorities changed and the borough purchased that, and these remaining unspent funds will be canceled at this time out of that ordinance, and I'll discuss that further in my report. Resolution 47 authorizes the submission of a new application for the 2021 funding cycle under the Bergen County Community Development Block Grant Program. As we noted earlier, we just received approval of our application for the 2020 program for the second floor bathrooms in Borough Hall. Our 2021 application will be similar application and request funding for renovation and ADA improvements in the first floor bathrooms at Borough Hall. The application seeks an amount of $66,440 for improvements under this grant program. We have a number of ordinances on for introduction tonight. I'll just briefly touch on each of those. The Ramsey Police Department annual adoption of policies and procedures previously has been adopted by resolution. Going forward, new public police policies are now to be adopted by ordinance rather than resolution. These updated policies incorporate not only Ramsey's updates to policies, but also any new policies handed down from the state of New Jersey Attorney General's office as well. Ordinance number 2 is an amendment to the Borough Code for Stormwater Control. This ordinance is found in section 19.5 of the Borough Code. It's being updated in 2021 by municipalities in accordance with New Jersey's DEP model stormwater control ordinance that they have issued. The borough is introducing this new NJDEP model ordinance now for public hearing and vote on adoption in compliance with the NJDEP enactment and effective date of March 3rd of 2021. Ordinance 3 is amending the Borough Code for Building Department fee schedule related to residential generators. The ordinance amends the fee code in compliance with a new state change on the rules for installation of residential generators. The states modified the installation rules on new generators or direct replacement of such generators, eliminating the separate issuance of a fire permit. The mechanical and plumbing inspector and electrical inspector will now be responsible for plan review and site inspections on this. Currently, the borough had a $75 fee for the mechanical and plumbing and a $75 fee for fire permit for a total of $150 in permits. While these responsibilities now are combined by the state, we'll be amending our ordinance to charge the same $150. It will just be combined in one fee for mechanical and plumbing instead of the two fees, reflecting the state's shift in responsibilities and time. Ordinance number 4 and 5 deal with the purchase of a DPW dump truck, each partially funding that purchase. Ordinance 4 is a reallocation of funds that was in Ordinance 10 of 2015. That ordinance, all work has been completed, all debt issued in accordance with that ordinance has been fully funded through prior budgets and paid off. We are recommending the remaining $75,000 of these unspent funds be appropriated now to partially fund the purchase of this new dump truck, plow, and salter for the Department of Public Works. The total estimated cost of the equipment is $200,000. This will be $75,000 and will be combined with the proceeds of capital improvement ordinance number 5. Again, no new borrowing. Capital ordinance improvement ordinance number 5 is for $125,000 to provide the remaining funding for this purchase of the dump trucks, plow, and salter for the DPW. It is replacing an 18-year-old truck which had with a towing accident. Actually ended up being totaled approximately a year ago. We're recommending this purchase now based on departmental need, utilizing these previously budgeted funds for the purpose. I would just note in Resolution 44, 2021, we're proposing to cancel the unspent authorization of $125,000 under Ordinance 6-2019. And this will, in essence, offset this capital improvement ordinance to the same amount to complete the funding. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to consent resolutions.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Be it resolved that resolutions 032-2021 through and including 048-2021, having been considered by the governing body of the Borough of Ramsey, be and are hereby passed and approved. I have a special permit. The Ramsey Area Garden Club is requesting permission to hold their annual plant sale on Saturday, May 8th, 2021 at the Ramsey train station parking lot. They will apply to New Jersey Transit for a license, and there are no block party requests.
I second the consent resolution. Jane Wood.
Thank you. Any comments on the consent resolutions from members of the council? Okay.
I just have a brief comment. I'd just like to congratulate the 3 officers, Officers Finn, De Palma, and Burgess, for their appointments as permanent police officers in the borough. And I also would like to also commend Mayor Dillon for all her hard work on the messages on the community communication that she's been forwarding for basically the last 9 months, 10 months or so. And hopefully we're getting near the end. But thank you very much for your clear messages.
Thank you, and hopefully we are getting near the end. It has been 10 months, more than 10 months. Borough Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Cusick.
Yes.
Councilman Gottwetter.
Yes.
Councilman Jones.
Yes.
Councilman Kilman.
Yes.
Councilman Weber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move on to committee and liaison reports. Finance and Administration, Councilman Guttwetter.
Thank Thank you once again, Madam Mayor. I have some reports here from Library Director Latham, so I'm just going to elaborate on some of his comments, just to bring everybody up to date. New York Times online access. The Ramsey Library card holders can now get free access to the New York Times online, which includes day's news, editorials, multimedia content, historical news going back to 1851, and lots more. Ramsey card holders can visit the digital collections page for instructions and start getting free access. Canopy is now being offered. It's a new product for Ramsey card holders that provides free access to streaming movies, television, documentaries, and other video content. It's a great service that is being offered by many libraries across the country, including the New York Public Library. The Canopy collection includes classic films from the Criterion Collection, a collection of material just for kids that have no limit for amount of use, independent films, award-winning documentaries, and card holders can watch up to 10 titles a month with no waiting. Again, visit the digital collections page for more details. The library will be hosting two live virtual jazz concerts coming up, one in February and one in March. Both will feature professional jazz musicians with impressive resumes of recordings and live performances. The first show will be on Friday, February 19th at 7:30, and the second show will be Friday, March 29th at 7:30, and it'll be live on the library's Facebook page. And lastly, board games are now available for checkout for library patrons. Just go through the Library of Things, and you can get games such as Candyland and Risk and Monopoly and Clue and Battleship and so on and so forth. In terms of the Recreation Commission, they elected a chair and a co-chair. Melissa Oliver is the chair and Jonathan Winterhalter is the co-chair. All spring activities that are outdoor remain as a go, pending any other information. This includes the Easter egg hunt, adult soccer, lacrosse, men's and women's softball. Indoor volleyball is still to be determined and is at risk of not moving forward. All other programs remain as scheduled. There is an investigation of a bocce league for spring and summer for all adult ages. And lastly, the Rec Commission has discussed cleaning up the recreation shed and storage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Gutwetter. Public Safety, Councilman Weber.
Thank you, Mayor Dillon. Actually, I have a lot of things to report tonight, starting with the Municipal Alliance. They will be hosting a virtual legalization of marijuana and getting to know the facts. Will be held February 24th at 7:30 p.m. To register, you email Ramsey Municipal Alliance at gmail.com. You can also check out their webpage, and I believe you can register from there. The Environmental Commission had a very, very busy meeting last week, starting with the topic of the Sustainable New Jersey. The bronze status, which we've attained, is no longer a large hurdle. The Commission has decided they are going for the silver, which I think is very, very difficult to attain. But they've researched this, and there's about 200 more points that would be required to reach the silver status, and they are going for it. So we'll know more at the February meeting. They'll be discussing the activities and challenges that they're going to take on to obtain those points. I did want to congratulate Leva Keimer, who, part of the Environmental Commission, spearheaded a couple of styrofoam collections, which is something that everybody's always trying to figure out how do they get rid of it. So she coordinated two collections, December 19th, and then the last one was on January 9th. In conjunction with that, I'd like to say thank you to Gary Bach over at the pool, who helped coordinate the collection over at that location for the Environmental Commission. Very, very cool thing at the last meeting, and I know Mayor Dillon's been made aware of this. We have an Eagle Scout project that's been done by Liam Curran to adopt a storm drain. He put together this really cool website. I actually went in and did this and adopted a storm drain outside my house. He's got links, Instagrams, Facebook announcements going out. If you want to find out more about it, the website is ramseyadoptadrain.org. Mayor Dillon, I think you're going to be making an announcement to a wider audience than attend our council meetings with your next Swift Reach. From the public safety, I also would like to congratulate Chris Finn, Nick DePalma, and Austin Bergeis It's hard to believe it was a year ago that we were interviewing these guys and putting them through a rigorous process. And I just congratulate them on completing their probationary period and all their field training and graduating the academy. It's a long process for them. The time flew by for us, but I just want to wish them a lot of luck and safety in their new endeavors. I'd like to also congratulate Lucas Bottini on joining the Ramsey Rescue, and Nancy Boone for the Design Review Board. I think what a fantastic choice she was for that position. In addition, with public safety, this past Thursday we had the arrival of our newest fleet piece of equipment. There was the new Ramsey truck. Ramsey rescue truck. This, if you recall, was a used rescue truck that we purchased from the Teaneck Fire Department. It had very low miles. It was in very good shape, and then we just finished having it all refurbished. We basically have a brand new truck, and it cost us about half of what it would have cost if we had gone out and actually purchased a new truck. So I just want to congratulate Rescue, who did really a great job researching this, and then doing all the work to get that completed. Finally, with the public safety, I attended a meeting with the chiefs of all of our public safety units this past week, and my hat really goes off to these guys. The meeting was focused on basically emergency response, especially given the time of COVID here. These folks are having a tremendous challenge trying to recruit new members, and even if they can, there's no classes being held because they can't hold the classes to certify these individuals. And you hear the ambulance corps members, they're going out on a shift and addressing 3-4 COVID calls in a single shift. And then, of course, once these folks get exposed, they have to quarantine. So the ranks of people that are available to respond have really shrunk. And my appreciation for the Chiefs meeting was that these guys came together, and I say guys, these men and women who lead the organizations, to see how can they help each other. And it just, to me, just sitting there and observing how these emergency response teams, some of them paid, some of them volunteer, just are trying to figure out what can they do above and beyond to help our community. And I know we have our volunteer appreciation night, but I don't think enough could be said about the organizations that we have supporting us in town. So my hat's off to them, and I just wanted to thank them again. And finally tonight, I also wanted to echo Borough Administrator's comments and Councilman Gutwetter's comments, and thank you, Mayor, for all the announcements you make. They truly are informative and appreciated. And I actually love on a Friday night when I see the borough come up on the caller ID and know that here's the latest update. So thank you again for that. And I echo that. I hope they don't have to go on forever, but if they do, I know that you're going to feed us the best information that's available. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilman Weber. Building, Planning, and Zoning, Councilwoman Woods.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to first talk about the Board of Health meeting. It was held January 14th. They had their reorganization first, with Jeffrey Nemeth being named president, and we want to thank Tammy Azuri for her service as past president. Vaccine types, distribution, and injection execution was discussed. COVID diagnosis and hospitalizations was also discussed again. There's an opportunity for members to join in with the Upper Saddle River on mental health prevention crisis training for 6 hours, so we're looking at that. They welcomed Jillian Balin as a representative from the Ambulance Corps, and Chris is now the alternate. Ambulance members are getting the vaccine, and ambulance calls are increasing. But that's good for them, to keep them busy then again. Sorry, that's confusing. There was discussion of the mayor's wellness campaign and concerns that might not be feasible this year, but they will see if there's interest. And all food establishment inspections, which there were many, were satisfactory this month. But there have been a few complaints of people at certain businesses not wearing masks. So continue to work on that in the community. The Ramsey Seniors Group is a new responsibility for me, and I'm delighted to be the liaison for the Ramsey Seniors Group. I met with Roger Canals and Stephanie for the Senior Center. We discussed the needs of the group, and I've checked on the status of the minor punch list items for the Senior Center and Community Center. and that is moving forward. I enjoyed meeting everyone at the trustees meeting via Zoom, which was a reorganization meeting as well. I'm looking forward to helping them any way I can. The Design Review Board held their reorganization meeting, a regular meeting, last night, January 26th, with 2 applications. They welcomed a new member, Daniel Thomas, and thank you for your service. There was discussion of enforcement for the use of flashing lights in business windows, so they're working on getting a list of businesses they want to maybe go and have the enforcement officer check on. I would congratulate Lucas Buttattini for serving on the Ramsey Rescue Squad and Nancy Boone for serving on the Design Review Board. Thank you for serving a wonderful town, and congratulations to our new police officers, fully fledged. Again, can't believe it's been a year. So proud of you. And thank you, Mayor, for your messages. I hope they never stop. I really love getting all this information right at my fingertips. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Councilwoman Woods. Utilities, Buildings and Grounds, Councilman Kilman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First off, I want to congratulate Lucas Buttini and Nancy Boone on their appointments. Thank them for their service, and also congratulate our new police officers. Thank them for their service and their dedication to joining Ramsey's outstanding police force. I have 3 points to cover. First, the Zoning Board of Adjustment. For the past several sessions, there have been some long hours going past 11 o'clock at night. A lot of things are coming at them, and spring is usually the busy season. Secondly, Shade Tree Commission continues to monitor and remove numerous storm-damaged town trees. In addition, Shade Tree leadership and I are looking at pricing data to reevaluate deposit costs per tree for new housing construction, which includes tree cost, delivery, installation, hardwood mulching, staking, deer barrier protection, and monitoring to ensure that these trees survive. The last time costs were evaluated was back in 2004. And for my third point, I want to speak about an area we don't cover in our annual reorganization meeting that happened this past January 5th. At that meeting, we spoke about the council assignments and every other area of borough governance, with one exception, that being the role of mayor and Mayor Deirdre Dillon. As council president this year, I'd be remiss if I didn't speak to it, especially given the circumstances we faced in 2020. For those who know me, I'm pretty analytical, so I want to preface my comments about our mayor with data I collected about what makes for a strong, effective mayor from available New Jersey state documentation as well as national indices. It goes without saying that being a mayor is a difficult job. A mayor doesn't have the same influence and authority as a private industry CEO. Often mayors require more persuasion skills as well as decision skills to run a municipality. Therefore, an effective mayor must have certain intrinsic capabilities that will allow him or her to help the community she leads. A good mayor only promises what she can control, and residents need to understand that. A strong, knowledgeable mayor knows that there are many factors that come into play in governance that include the decisions and actions of competent department officials in conjunction with established laws, ordinances, and risk management that must be respected. Good business management is having the ability to move others from point A to point B. And good leadership is knowing where point B is located. The best mayors exhibit a vision for the future and provide direction toward that end to the community. An effective mayor must have sound communication skills, especially the ability to listen. A good mayor is not afraid to tackle issues affecting the community, regardless of how difficult or unpopular these issues may be. A mayor understands that you'll never make everyone happy, but have the strength of character and courage to do what he or she thinks is right for the community after reviewing all the information. Frankly, the facts that define a good mayor speak for themselves. And in my opinion, these facts describe our current mayor of Ramsey. There's been a lot of correspondence in one shape or form from Ramsey residents over the past 12 months. One in particular came in recently, and and I want to read a portion of it now because it succinctly captures the tone of much of the feedback we've heard about our mayor. And it reads as follows. Mayor Dillon, the main reason I'm writing is simply to say thank you for all you've been doing since becoming mayor. In a time where our girls growing up need a role model, they only have to look toward their own mayor and know they can achieve whatever their desire is. You have been a wonderful communicator. Your phone messages remind me of why I voted for you. Telling those who are not regularly on a computer or Facebook experts about COVID testing, pet licenses, advocating for town business during COVID, and ways to stay safe enable us to make decisions with knowledge provided by our borough's governing body. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Kudos to you. You should be proud of what you have accomplished. So be well, and as you always say, stay safe. I will close with this. In her regular full-time job, Mayor Dillon is a high-powered attorney. In her second full-time job, she's our mayor. Some of us know that many long hours that she puts in, and her level of commitment and the passion she has for serving the residents of Ramsey. She is also on numerous Ramsey boards and committees, as well as programs she started and is involved in, such as Stigma-Free and Ramsey is for Everyone, RIFE. She makes herself available on days and weekends to residents, and when there is a challenge, be it a critical issue, a devastating storm, an emergency affecting Ramsey, she's on top of it, advocating for us. So as we start another year, we pray that 2021 is much better than the year we left behind. And speaking only for myself right now, although I believe many others would concur, I am glad that Deirdre Dillon is our Madam Mayor. And that concludes my remarks for this evening.
Thank you, Councilman Kilman. That was completely unexpected, but truly, truly appreciated. Thank you. Public and Government Relations, Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mayor Dillon. I will just say ditto to Council President Hillman's remarks of thanks and support of you. And I think he said it all. For tonight, I would just welcome and thank Lucas and Nancy for stepping up and doing more in the community, of course. We know Nancy's great work with the farmers market. And with that, I'll say the farmers market continues throughout the winter season outdoors. And we will be meeting next Monday night on February 1st to discuss plans for the upcoming season of the 21 spring farmers market when the hours expand. I would also just remind everybody, as the mayor has done many times in her speech, in her weekly updates and speeches, to please consider shopping local. The winter has been particularly harsh on our businesses, our dining establishments, and many of the personal service businesses that have struggled to survive, that weren't allowed to be open for a very long time. Personal services, salons, barber shops, and such. So also I would remind everybody to look to the Ramsey Chamber of Commerce website for the tremendous amount of diverse products and services that are offered, not only in our downtown businesses, but by many of our residents. You can still shop local and help out a neighbor during these most difficult times. And I would encourage everyone to continue to do so. Lastly, I would just report that the pool commission meeting was held last Wednesday night, the 20th. They had their reorganization meeting. Kathleen Hewitt was reelected as the chairperson and Ed Jost as vice chair for 2021. There were a lot of great ideas discussed on how they could safely have people come back and utilize the facilities this season. As we know, they did a great job of getting open, staying safe, and keeping everyone healthy last year, but membership was where everyone wants it to be, and they remain optimistic as to how they can enhance and get things finished for, and expanded for the 2021 season. So that's my comments for this evening, and thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Health, Education, Social Services, Councilwoman Cusick.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I appreciate your leadership as well. President Hillman, those words were spot on. I would also like to congratulate the 3 new law enforcement professionals and our rescue team members and other appointments for the night. I will touch on 3 topics tonight. Our first is our planning board. There were planning board meetings conducted on the 5th of January and the 19th. On the meeting on the 5th of January, new planning board members were sworn in, a resolution for professional appointments was made, and the bylaws of the planning board 2021 were adopted. At this meeting, there were 2 waiver applications brought forth, Capable Cubs Management, LLC, and Masterson Pools and Spas Incorporated. The applicants were approved. At the planning board meeting on the 19th of January 2021, there were 4 waiver applications brought forth. The Let Us In, which was a change of ownership, Modern Roots, Scratch, Kitchen and Caterers, Memco Financial Services Incorporated, and 3 Sons Logistics. The first 3 applicants of the list were approved. For the final 3 Sons Logistics, it was determined by all parties that a site plan would be required, so they will return to the board. Regarding the Board of Education, I encourage our town members to keep current with the Board of Education activities, because 69% of the Ramsey residents' property taxes are for the Board of Education. There was a meeting conducted on 5th January 21. I thank Councilwoman Woods for her support at this meeting. During this meeting, the Board of Education elected their officers for the 2021 year. Ms. Laura Behrman is president with a term expiring in 2024, and Ms. Andrea Lamandola is the vice president with a term expiring in January 2024. One notable from the meeting, Ramsey's Board of Education has received board certification from the New Jersey School Boards Association. They attended training which covered group processes, decision-making, planning, effective meetings, and a focus on student achievement. The meeting for January 26th was postponed to February 2nd. My last point to cover for this evening is the Ramsey Response. I would like to report on their Christmas holiday toy drive. They delivered to over 140 kids in our town with a generous donation of 2 to 3 gifts per child. At the same time, they performed food distribution of turkeys and also gift cards. Donations are always welcome. The food pantry collection for Ramsey Responds is every Tuesday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. at St. Paul. Please note that the Ramsey Responds team delivers and distributes food and other services and needs to those on Fridays. Madam Mayor, Council, thank you very much for the time to update you on these reports.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cusick. For my remarks, I'd like to welcome patrol officers and full-time patrol officers, Finn, DePalma, and Burgeis, to the Ramsey Police Department. We're so very happy that you finished your training, your probationary period, and that you're here. Regarding the Adopt a Storm Drain Eagle Scout project, I will have more information on that in my next Swift Reach message. Let's see. Everybody, please continue to check the Health Department page on the Borough website for COVID-19 information. We will be having another COVID-19 testing event on February 24th. Now, the health officer hopes to have COVID-19 vaccinations for Ramsey residents. When more vaccinations become available, of course, I will keep everybody updated as I have more information on that. Regarding outdoor dining, normally we start that in June. I'm going to speak to some of the restaurant owners and get feedback from them whether they would like to see it start in March or April, considering, the pandemic does not seem to be going away anytime in the near future, just to help them out. So I will be speaking with them. And congratulations to the Department of Health on an extremely successful Rabies Clinic this past weekend. They vaccinated over 100 dogs and cats combined, and there were pet owners from as far away as West Milford and from Allendale, Waldwick, Upper Saddle River, all in the area came to our rabies clinic because many towns are not having rabies clinics this year due to COVID-19. So once again, I really thank the Department of Health, especially Danielle Monahan and Martha Sabanko for putting that together. It was a true success. And that's all I have. Borough Administrator, anything to add?
Nothing further. Thank you, Madam.
Okay, thank you. Borough Attorney?
Nothing to add.
Thank you. Borough Clerk? Thank you. All right, on that, we will move on to the introduction of ordinances. And as they were all discussed by the Borough Attorney in his presentation. Ordinance 01-2021.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Amending Chapter 2 of the Code of the Borough of Ramsey, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and more specifically Section 2-32 thereof entitled Police Department, pass the first reading by title, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage and adoption at a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council to be held on the 10th of February, 2021, 6:30 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon after as the matter can be reached at the municipal building in said borough. And be it further resolved that the borough clerk be, and she hereby is, instructed to publish in an official newspaper of the borough, in the manner provided by law, a copy of said ordinance together with the notice of introduction thereof, and notice when the same will be considered for final passage and adoption.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments in addition to what the Borough Administrator explained?
Nothing in addition, Madam Mayor. I think that has kind of summed it up.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll have roll call then, please.
Councilwoman Cusick.
Yes.
Councilman Gottwetter.
Yes.
Councilman Jones.
Yes.
Councilman Kilman.
Yes.
Councilman Weber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 02-2021.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Amending Chapter 19 of the Code of the Borough of Ramsey, Bergen County, New Jersey, and more particularly Section 19-5 thereof entitled Stormwater Control, pass the first reading by title, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage and adoption at a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council to be held on the 10th day of February, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon after as the matter can be reached at the municipal building in said borough, and be it further resolved that the borough clerk be and she is hereby instructed to publish in an official newspaper of the borough in the manner provided by law a copy of said ordinance, together with notice of the introduction thereof and notice when the same will be considered for final passage and adoption.
Second?
Second?
Thank you, Councilman Weber. Any comments on this ordinance?
Nothing in addition to what Borough Administrator Vosay had said.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick.
Yes.
Councilman Gottwetter.
Yes.
Councilman Jones.
Yes.
Councilman Kilman.
Yes.
Councilman Weber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Ordinance 03-2021.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Introduction of Ordinance 03-2021. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance Amending Chapter 13 of the Code of the Borough of Ramsey, Bergen County, New Jersey, and more specifically, Section 13-1.2 thereof entitled Fee Schedules. Pass the first reading by title, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage and adoption at a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council to be held on the 10th day of February 2021, 7:30 p.m., prevailing time, or as soon after as the matter can be reached at the municipal building in said borough. And be it further resolved that the borough clerk be, and she hereby is, instructed to publish in an official newspaper of the borough in the manner provided by law a copy of said ordinance, together with notice of introduction thereof and notice when the same will be considered for final passage and adoption.
Do we have a second?
I second this.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Cusick.
I'm on both my name.
Any comments on this ordinance?
I have no comments, Madam Mayor.
Okay, there we go. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Goodweiler?
Yes.
Councilman Jones?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 04-2021.
Thank you, Mayor Dillon. I have the intro of Ordinance 04-2021. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance Providing for the Purchase of a Replacement Dump Truck with Plow and Salter for the Department of Public Works within the Borough of Ramsey, Bergen County, New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $75,000 constituting the proceeds of obligations of the borough's heretofore issued. Pass final reading by title, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage and adoption at a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council be held the 10th day of February 2021 at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon after the matter can be reached at the municipal building in said borough. Be it further resolved that the borough clerk be, and she hereby is instructed to publish in an official newspaper of the borough by a manner provided by law a copy of said ordinance, together of notice of introduction thereof, and notice when the same will be considered for final passage and adoption.
Second?
Thank you, Councilman Guttwiter. Okay, any comments on this ordinance?
Mayor Dillon, I'll just mention that Administrator Bose mentioned in his comments that we were canceling some old debt from previous unspent capital ordinances. This, along with Ordinance 05 I'll be reading next, will go towards the purchase of a $200,000 truck that was needed to be replaced. It's not functioning and was 18 years old. So no new debt will be issued. This is previous unspent debt that we had.
Appropriations, right? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Appropriations, yes, for a new dump truck, plow.
Appropriations, not debt.
Right, thank you. It's a dump truck, a plow, and a salter. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Goodweiler?
Yes.
Councilman Jones?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 05-2021.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance to Authorize Capital Improvements for the purpose of purchase of a replacement dump truck with plow and salter for the Department of Public Works in the Borough of Ramsey, Bergen County, New Jersey, and to appropriate the sum of $125,000 to pay the cost thereof. Pass first reading by title, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage and adoption at a regular meeting of the Ramsey Borough Mayor and Council to be held on the 10th day of February 2021, 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon after as the matter can be reached at the municipal building in said borough. And be it further resolved that the borough clerk be, and she hereby is, instructed to publish in an official newspaper of the borough in a manner provided by law a copy of said ordinance, together with notice of introduction thereof, and notice when the same will be considered for final passage and adoption.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Gutwitter. All right, any comments? Or probably not.
Just what I just repeated in the last.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick,
Yes.
Councilman Gutwitter,
Yes.
Councilman Jones,
Yes.
Councilman Kilman,
Yes.
Councilman Weber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We have no unfinished business, no new business. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Jones.
Seconded, Weber.
Second, James.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's it. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice evening. Stay safe and stay warm. It's going to be really bitter cold.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, all.
Thank you all.
Bye, y'all.